Okay, trying to finish up with the rear end before my adapters get here to be able to put the thing back up on tires. But new axle or swing arm boot is in, new clamps, got the diff mounted up, and the swing or axle tube there. So now the only thing that's left obviously is the whole brake side over here. This is that double bearing that I was talking about, and shaving down this backing plate. Both bearings fit in there just fine. You can see the space in there, except it is flush right here on the outside, which is going to be the outside. Usually there's a seal that goes right here, but since these are already sealed bearings, not too worried about it. And also with the center tube, now that's going to be filled with grease with that Zert, it's just going to be forcing it out. There's nothing for anything to go into. So as long as you keep it greased and pumped, you know, full before and after every ride, then you're gonna be fine. So differentials mounted, axles in there, ready to put this on real quick. The lift kit's already there. And like I said, we're still kind of waiting on our wheel adapters to be able to put it on tires and drop it down. Nothing too fancy here yet. The only thing with the shave down brake drum that you saw there, this still might get a paddle welded to it. Before, I've actually welded a paddle to, say, the hub right there. I still got to clean those up, but I've welded a paddle to that for the left side, and then welded a paddle to this on the right side, and then also had spares of the each, so I could actually take the paddles just completely removable and if I wanted to run them or not. Okay, one other big step was to get this muffler installed. It finally came in. Picked it up off of Amazon. It's actually for a pit bike, but it is the same length as the factory muffler there, about 17 inches or so. I wanted one with a nice end on it. Not too big of a hole, but not too small, and it is a straight through from there on out. And this is actually the diameter of the whole pipe inside. So the only place that is not solid from here on back is just right here, which is riveted on. Like I said, in there, it's all the way through. It should sound a whole lot better than like the Tractor Supply FO4s and everything, because it is actually a muffler with packing. It's not just metal baffles. Just got to get a couple of reducers there from, I got those from ABC, but O'Reilly's, all those places are the same. It even comes with the little mount there already, fully adjustable on, let's see if you can see it, on that rack right there. So within a couple minutes, the thing was mounted up and bolted up. Went to go start it and then just completely forgot that the whole back end was off of it. So that's what I'm gonna get now. We're gonna drop everything down. Did some cosmetics up here in the front, just because that's what you're gonna be looking at the whole time. This kind of really does bring the crispness and the cleanliness of the whole thing together. So ended up redoing this. All I did here was did the little heat trick, put the heat gun on there, and it brings all the colors back, kind of melts the whole top of the first layer, brings out the colors again. These were all faded out. You couldn't even tell what color. I mean, this was like gray and white, but brings all the yellow back out. Put a new reverse button on there. Don't really know why I did that, because I usually just either weld that tab down so this isn't really flopping around, and also you just got to pull it back to put in reverse as there's no brakes, especially on the left side. Went ahead and put in new covers here for the lights. The other ones were not too faded out, but just enough to, like I said, just bring it, make it pop. Everything is dielectric grease now too. Gonna throw back on the air box and maybe some of the plastics real quick. Got the last piece of the puzzle today, came through UPS. Had to buy these adapters used. These are the Honda to Polaris wheel adapters. They everywhere is sold out. I mean, I could not find a set anywhere. Luckily, I posted up. One of you guys came through, got them. Just showed up today, so mounting these up. There's only one stud right there messed up. No big deal. Everything's torqued down. And here are the tires and wheels that's gonna kind of be on here for the most part. These are just those Rock Tricks wheels. Actually, Amazon again. Can't beat them. I mean, I think they look great on this thing. They are 14-inch on these 28-inch Mega Mayhems. And those are actually the ones that came on the Red Sportsman here. But that is why I wanted to run the adapters, was because I can put whatever tire and wheel I want on here. If I want the Outlaw, 31-inch Outlaws, the 310s, the Moto Havocs, I can do it. That's probably what's going to happen. I really want to try out the Moto Havocs on here because I think it just looks fantastic. But for now, this is what we're going to be on here. I am having to double up on wheel spacers there. As you can tell, that's just actually 3 inches total, the adapters, and then 1.5 inch also. Rear ground clearance is looking really good. The rear profile overall, not bad at all. So also when the paddle gets on there, it's going to kind of smooth everything out. But I love it so far. Exhaust is looking good out the back there. And all I did with the fenders so far is I actually went and just cut this whole little flap out, because these will get either U-bolted or something right along that line. And also that little lip now inside there's just kind of cupping it really nicely, and that'll be the clearance overall. But just about to throw the front ones on to see how much of a difference it is, because right now the rears aren't sticking up that far, not as much as I was expecting to. But let's go ahead and throw on the front and see what it looks like. Got the front plastics back on, and I'm starting to work on the snorkel right now. I think the snorkel is going to be a completely different video, so stay tuned for that. It's just pretty simple. I mean, it's just the same thing I've used for pretty much every one from here on out. So, but going back to a little bit of cosmetics, I was really tempted to buy one of the little rubber stoppers for the throttle, actually the whole new throttle. The throttle was like 15 bucks. Of course, I've got tons of 300 stuff. That's all carburetors and everything out of everything. Ended up actually having another throttle with a good thumb throttle, so that's a score. Gonna get that done. I think I'm gonna mount up this single row light bar probably on the top of the handlebars right here. If you saw my red one, I had 2 dualies up there. I just kind of like the look, especially whenever you're going deep, of course, at night or whatnot. It's going to be up out of the water. I'll probably do some flush mounts down here because this one actually has water in there. Don't know why, because I don't think this thing's been deep. Maybe just rain and just cracked or whatever, but or maybe even washing it. So I'm gonna do the same relay setup where this is on the lows, and when it's on highs, all 3 of them come on, and then I can drop it back down. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing swapped out and working on the snorkel as we go. Okay guys, I had to jump ahead quite a bit on finishing this up just for the upcoming ride this weekend out at Muddy Bottoms, finishing up things. Like I got Kevin's 4-wheeler here. You should be able to handle that thing pretty well. That's all done. Sportsman's going, everything else going, but here's the finish of the 300. It's not completely done. There's some things like I need to paint the snorkel. This is not the final look of it, but it's just what I had. It's actually what I planned on it looking like, I guess, from the get-go, but it's not what it's going to finish as. Just recap, got the grips on. I always use these grips. There is the gas cap. Just thread in that nipple there and run it out. All the new buttons are looking good. Put on this light bar real quick just for some lights. I am going to put some pods down here, flush mount pods. Snorkel's all done, plate's all done. I'm going to, like I said, paint it. It is tall just because I do kind of want to get in this motor at some point, so whatever happens, happens. New seats on, things looking fantastic. 2-inch to 1.5-inch to the 1 1/4 fitting into the airbox. All the wheel adapters are on. Rear end's finished up. I'm running the 1.5-inch adapters and the 1.5-inch wheel spacers. It does need to be a little bit wider, but everything's on. Vent lines are on. Exhaust is there. Exhaust sounds great. These new bushings are in the rack here. They're a little tight. I almost wish that the little tab was a little bit longer to be able to grab onto, because they're so tight you can't really pull it up. Into the airbox there, the crankcase is looped up around there and then back to the top of the airbox. Over here, if you can see back in there, those 2 aluminum fittings, that's actually the aluminum one-way check valves. I didn't think they were going to make that big of a difference, but my gosh, it is instant. It's not a ball check valve like on the OEM setup. That there, I got those doubled up, so the float's going to be very well protected. I do need to add a rear spring spacer. So that's kind of the second phase of this thing. Next time you'll see it, other than I'm probably going to do a full maybe walk around video on it. 31s, gear reduction, deciding on what size I want to go to. Probably 75, I'm thinking. 31s, rear axle paddle, a little bit wider in the back, and the pods, and we'll go from there. But yeah guys, I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Like I said, we'll hopefully get some video this weekend out at Muddy Bottoms, and we'll stay tuned for phase 2.